doesn't fracture. Hey, doesn't matter.
It don't matter what they say, we gon' talk anyway. Bell rings, mic check, let the real ones play. From the legends to the new blood climbing the ladder. Welcome to the show, it doesn't matter. Notorious Dome set the tone, main event status. BDC bring a fire, every take savage. Strap facts with the knowledge, history splatter. Poppy planting no wild cards, say it loud, it doesn't matter. No filter, no bias. This is the It Doesn't Matter podcast.
Few wrestlers have reinvented themselves and stayed relevant across all generations. Blonde flat top, face paint, Raptors, baseball bats, and a lot of mind games. Tonight isn't just about a career. Tonight is all about an icon. Tonight is BDC's choice, and we're going to break down every version of the man they call Sting. I'm your host. I'm Notorious when I am Dom. I'm here with Poppy Platinum. I'm here with Stratfax. I'm here with the man that chose the show, BDC. Fellas, what's good?
What up? What up? What up?
Surprise.
It's Sting.
It's Sting. It's Sting. All right, let's get right into it. BDC,
Yes,
why did you choose Sting?
Because of Sting, man. Sting was my guy back in the day. Especially when he went into The Crow, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
The original Crow?
Yep, the original, not the 82 that came afterwards. It all stunk.
Gotta disagree with you with the last one, though.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah,
but
I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, he's always been my guy. He took that darker persona, and I think it just elevated him. And from there, his career just really kind of took on that moniker. He kept that look regardless for the remainder of his career. So he knew something was going perfect with it too. So, but yeah, he's been my guy. Since I kind of got to know who he was, and I wanted to do something about it.
All right. Well, he didn't know that was going on because it was Scott Hall that gave him the idea for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But before we get into the dark hair Sting, let's rewind. Let's take it back to the early 90s where my man Sting had the flat top, the blonde hair, the Zach Morris, and the Zubaz pants, all that, the colorful Sting, Surfer Sting. I love this thing right here.
Surfer Sting. Yep.
And this gimmick at the time, it definitely worked for the early 90s. It was perfect. He was the number one guy at WCW at that time in the early 90s. So,
Yep.
Platinum, what are your thoughts on the young Surfer Sting right here?
I never really watched him growing up as a kid, but I went back and did some research with this Sting just because you guys talked about him in raving colors, and especially with his most iconic match that he had with Ric Flair. Was it Starcade 87, 88,
89.
89? That match is so iconic, and it cements in the NWA and Sting in more ways than one. It also cements Flair as one of the greatest of all time to make someone, even though he was coming from a tag team and he was still becoming relatively more known at that time, his trajectory was coming up. Ric Flair and Sting right there, that match, it had you on the edge. And then towards the end, you had your hopes for Sting and you're like, come on, Sting, he's going to get it. You're going to get it. And unfortunately, the time ran out. But the time has not run out.
Limit draw.
Platinum, since you said you're not familiar with the early version of Sting, yes, you know what he's all about. WCW The Vault, they posted Sting's 1992. Definitely check it out. You see a lot of Dangerous Alliance on there.
Ooh, I love the Dangerous Alliance. Probably one of the sneakiest, They're probably the best faction that ever came out of WCW. After NWO, of course. Original.
John's eyes lighting up over here. Strap, what you thinking about?
Oh, no question, just throwing it. Okay, so my first impression of Sting is kind of like Poppy Platino here. I wasn't around for Surfer Sting, but I remember going to Caldors in Waterford, Connecticut, and they had. I never
old
paid attention to that before. I
Caldors.
was a Ninja Turtles kid. I was a Power Rangers guy, and when I started getting into wrestling, they had those figures, like the infamous Jack Pacifics, Wave One. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Diesel, Goldust, Undertaker, those figures, and I was learning all companies, and I was learning WCW. So they had WCW figures too, the original San Francisco toy makers. What a mouthful! But you had a Hulk Hogan figure, Ric Flair, Kevin Sullivan. Just look at the back of the card there. Johnny B. Bad. I never heard of this freaking guy. And they had a man called Sting. And when I think back to it, I'm just looking at the Sting figure. It's like maybe I had an idea of who he was. I don't know. He wasn't in my purview of wrestling at the time. But he was just a curious fellow. And you turn into Monday Nitro and you check things out, you see things, and his hair was mixed blonde and becoming darker, a sign of things to come. And so it was just toward the end of his Surfer Sting gimmick. But he was just fascinating from the beginning, and that fascination just continued to the modern day. And that's just the kind of character and person and superstar that Sting was. So I was a very curious Sting fan when I first made a fatal encounter with the guy.
That Sting action figure you talking about, was it him with the blue trunks on?
Yeah, he looked like this.
And he's like, yep, I had that. I had that joint. Yep.
Things don't look nothing like him.
Yeah. And then the Hogan one was like this, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I remember. Yeah, I had that one too. I had the Ric Flair one. Ric Flair had the purple trunks on.
The most friendliest original San Francisco toy maker WCW figure was Alex Wright, Das Wunderkid. He's just giving hugs out, man.
I remember that. I didn't buy that one.
I bought them all, man. I collect them all. I followed that credo. I bought them all.
Well, let's make a show about it. Pull them out.
Okay.
Not this show.
About to do the big
Don't
wiggle.
pull that out.
You about to see why he was a Lex Luger fan. The total package is that. Oh, sorry.
I'm Mr. Small Package, and don't you forget it. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Taking it back to the archives.
Mr. Adequate.
BDC.
Mr. Adequate.
Mr. Adequate. Yep. What are your thoughts on Surfer Sting?
Yeah, he was a phenomenon. Like most said, is like I came in more so he was moving away from that gimmick and he was moving into the Crow gimmick at the time when I kind of really caught on because Nitro, and that was when I was starting to get into WCW Saturday Night and stuff like that. So I went back to kind of follow, whether it be through the podcast or just being curious, and this dude was like big as a house, but was fast as hell. And he was absolutely way over with the fans. It was like this dude was at even a younger time, he was like kind of like the heartbeat of WCW, not necessarily NWA, but he was the heartbeat of WCW. Like every time Sting showed up, he was massive appeal, and he was being put in the big matches, in the big moments, just to kind of put him out there and let people know, hey, WWF got Hulk Hogan, we have Sting, we have Ric Flair, we have the future. And I mean, he was phenomenal. The hair was spiked. He had the tights with whatever he had on it, whether it be flamingos or whatever he had on them. The face paint, all that, like it just, everything just worked for him. It all worked for him. And he had the personality of just like, oh yeah, he's just a dude, and that got over with the fans too. It was definitely definitely for the time a huge get for him.
Surfer Sting walks so the Crow Sting could be legendary.
Yes, sir.
BDC, my question for you is, with the NWO, taking place in 1996 and Hogan became the number one heel at the time, why couldn't Sting just be the way he was as Surfer Sting and, take down the NWO? Why did he have to become the Crow?
I think what ended up happening was this was WCW's answer to the attitude, to the kind of the marching attitude era that was coming. There was, you had Sting, who of course Sting was over, but I think at the end of the day, with the way the NWO was, they were so over the top dark and heelish and stuff like that. It was like they had all their big names coming up, all their faces coming up against them, and they were all kind of getting shot down. I think that without the angle turning him into the Crow, which was basically they got a fake Sting to come out to come out and align himself with the NWO to make Sting not be believed, because Sting was the golden boy. Sting was all WCW. So they literally, the angle was, let's go in there and let's destroy his reputation and get him to join us. And they jacked up the reputation a little bit, but then it led to what we got. I don't know if there's a storyline that you could put together with Sting as Surfer Sting versus the NWO, where it is as engaging and as believable overall than what they did to him, making him the Crow. I think that with him becoming the Crow, him being out for dude didn't wrestle for like a year. He didn't talk for equally as long.
Yep.
He just came down to the ring and his actions spoke volumes for everything. When he finally came in and he started, getting in fights, he was laying out everybody in the NWO. I don't think you get that Sting if he's still Surfer Sting. I don't think you. I think that he needed to touch into something darker in order to get there, and he's not getting there as Surfer Sting. It's just not happening.
Was he better off silent as the Crow, or should he talk more?
No, he was definitely better off silent, because when he joined the NWO and he was talking, I was like, why is this dude talking so much? Yeah, he being just silent and doing this thing was cool. When he started just talking and just kind of like the old Sting again with that new, it was like, it didn't seem to fit. It didn't seem to fit. It was like, okay, you came back this darker personality. Now you're just back to old Sting with longer hair and different color face paint. It didn't fit him anymore. So I think the silence was good. I think the silence worked. The silence worked for him.
It was definitely a wild time. I did enjoy that time seeing Sting every week. Oh, is he going to talk? What's he going to do? Bobby the Brain Heenan, he's a mute. That definitely stuck out. But every week they kept, I'll give you this guy, and then he, shake his head no, and everybody know that he wanted Hulk Hogan, and he finally got Hogan at Starcade 97. Strap, guys, we covered this show when Platinum announced that he was going to be a daddy. Woo-hoo! So yes, we covered this show, and let's bring it up again. Strap, did WCW fumble the main event with Sting and Hogan at Starcade 97?
You can blame WCW for a lot of things, but in the mystery is, a lot of weird stuff happened in 97. Montreal Screwjob, Starcade 97, the finish. If you can say WCW, the company as a whole, you can say Eric Bischoff, Hollywood Hogan's, Sting, those other, Nick Patrick, or even Bret Hart himself. You could put the blame on anyone. It's a he said, she said. Sting's not a guy to ruffle feathers. What I believe is that I mean, it must have been a combination. Like Sting didn't look like $1 million. He wasn't as huge as he was physically in the early '90s. I think that was a little embellished, that story. That Sting showed up and I ain't dropping the title to him, brother. You know,
He's not tan.
Hogan's just being the political guy. So what Nick Patrick? Hogan told me to do a regular count. Bischoff told me to do a fast count. But Hogan screwed everyone in this. He screwed Bret Hart twice on his pay-per-view career. So I think the whole thing, blame on Hogan, but it's WCW. It's the culture. But yeah, it was definitely a turning point for the company and for pro wrestling as a whole. It could have went another way. It should have went another way. It didn't. And I think I texted Dom this a few times. I was like, just actually watch the match. Like, never mind our memories or the hype or the year-long leading up to it. Watch the match itself. And in Starcade 97 and the rematch of Super Brawl the next year, Hogan Sting left the winner both times, but he got abused both times in both matches. Just watch it. It's like, you're gonna get the win in the end, man. You're gonna look good in the end, man. You're gonna hold that belt high in the air. But watch the layout of the match, and Sting is absolutely abused by Hulk Hogan.
He was made to kind of look lucky.
Yep.
He was made to kind of look lucky, and that's the worst part about it. It's like, you had this huge monster build up, and literally, again, he'd go to the ring by himself. He had the legendary spot where he goes into the ring. They're all afraid to get in the ring with him because he has a bat. He takes his bat, he drops it outside the ring.
Yeah,
they start coming for him, and he lays them all out. And you mean to tell me that this guy, who laid out all of the NWO, had to get lucky against Hogan twice?
It reminds me of I think it was a Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar is coming across all his past opponents, and all, booking wise, all his past opponents, at a time or two, they beat him. Seth Rollins, was the Beast Slayer. Drew McIntyre took him down,
Took him down to Mania. Yep.
Maybe one other guy. And in the Rumble, it's like, well, you're not being the featured one. Brock's just going to suplex you, and then he's just going to toss you out. It's like, this doesn't make any sense, And so it's like, Sting took down the entire NWO by himself with no bat, and then all of a sudden he can't get up from a body slam from Hogan. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. They absolutely, in my opinion, they muffed it. They muffed it hard. And do I believe that Hogan was a big hand in that? Yeah, I think he was, because especially during that time, Hogan never wanted to look weak. Never. He never wanted to look weak. And there was no way he was going to look weak to Sting when he wasn't the Sting we all knew, or what have you. He wasn't that guy. He literally he had lost a lot of body mass. He had not I guess he toned it down. I don't know if that was part of getting into the gimmick. I don't know if he just didn't want to work out like that anymore. I don't know. But when he came back and he started wrestling again, he had lost a significant amount of his mass. And Hogan, being Hogan at that time, where he had to just run everything, he couldn't look weak no matter what. First off, he was rarely losing, and then when he lost, he always looked. There was always a hitch. There was always a scheme. There was always something behind it. I mean, even when he lost to Goldberg, what happened? It was Karl Malone was doing a diamond cutter on Dennis Rodman outside, and Hulk Hogan was turned around looking at him all shocked, and then all of a sudden he turns into a spear. So he can't even lose clean. So it's like that was just Hogan at that time.
Hogan was 43 years old. in 97.
Hogan
Look at
knows
there.
best.
Yeah, but with everything you're saying, I think the big thing is with at that time, Hogan probably looked at his character and he's like, "Is this character gonna last? Like, is this gonna be one of those characters where I give a loss to just prior, just like Ultimate Warrior, where everyone's hitching their wagon on this guy. They're thinking that he's gonna be the savior of the company, and then, see, brother, told you it wasn't gonna work. Should have just kept
But
the belt on me.
yeah, but the difference is Sting carried that company before him. That's the difference. Sting was a part of that company and carried that company before Hulk Hogan was there.
Yeah.
So to think that Sting couldn't carry the company after him is ridiculous, being as though he carried the company before him.
But he didn't carry it like me, brother. Who brought up the ticket
Hogan
sales?
carried it straight into the ground. F you, New Blood.
WCW didn't have Vince. They had the wrong Vince. That was their problem. That's why
That too.
it turned into shits.
That, and they didn't have
that too.
Pat Patterson, because those finishes were dookie.
Horrible. They were horrible.
They really were. All right,
Horrible.
so
Basura.
how long was it
Caca.
after Sting won the title? He went to the Wolfpack. That was like a
Wolf-
blurred line right there. I know it was like short lived. He's talking too much again. And
next year.
the following year, 98,
Yeah, I think so.
That's when
high blood pressure Sting.
Big Daddy Cool Diesel
Cinnamon gum Sting. Big Red.
I remember when he turned, one of his first interviews where he was talking after he had made the turn and he came out wearing the face red paint and stuff like that. He started talking, and I think it was Siobhan. It was either Shivani or somebody. I can't remember who was like, "God, he didn't talk for a year. Now you can't get him to shut up." I was like, damn. That was horrible. But at that point, everybody was pick a side. NWO. It was like, fuck WCW. Everybody pick a side on the NWO and join them.
That's
Not DDP.
Not DDP.
Not Booker T.
Not Booker T.
Booker T
Not
said,
Hard Body Harrison.
Booker T said, F that. I'm joining MIA.
I don't want to be Vincent.
I'm GI, bro.
Suckers got to know. Oh, man. All right. Well, WCW closed its doors in 2001. Sting had the chance to go to WWFE, but he decided not to because he couldn't trust Vince McMahon. He still don't like the product that he was putting out. So Sting took his talents and went to TNA.
Yep.
Sting
Took him a couple of years, but he got there.
Yeah, Sting had a couple
He
of
took some time off.
Sting had some classic matches, but then he went off the loony bin. And my man became a wild card. He became a Joker. He reinvented his character.
Yep.
He feuded with Hogan again and Eric Bischoff.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this version of Joker Sting? I never seen it in its entirety. I would love to relive it, but from what I've seen,
Joker
cuckoos
Sting.
cuckoos for Cocoa Puffs. That's all I can tell you.
Joker Sting was unhinged. He was unhinged.
Really?
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Joker. Like I have to say that was some of his best character work he ever put out as Joker Sting.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, he was absolutely unhinged. I mean, didn't really change what he did in the ring as much, but man, those promos were ridiculous. I mean, this dude would literally face paint was just contorted. He had this segment where he was in the office with Eric Bischoff, and he snapped and he started grabbing his face paint and he started smearing it all over Eric Bischoff's face. He did the same thing to Hogan. But like I said, some of his Joker Sting was all about his promos. His promos was what stood out more than anything he even did in the ring. And like you said, it was all to get Hogan away from Immortal and turn him face again. because the whole premise was, where's the real Hulk Hogan? Where's the real Hulk Hogan? And that's where Joker Sting came from. Ultimately, yep, it resulted in Joker Sting begging Hogan for help after he was getting beat on by Immortal, and Hulk Hogan hulked up after they had a classic match. But it definitely was his best character work that I saw that he had.
Platinum, what are your thoughts on Joker Sting?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Joker anyway. It doesn't matter if it's played by Heath Ledger or my favorite of all time, the best voice actor, in my opinion, Mark Hamill. Yeah, I think he did like a combination of both where he tried to get the voice a little bit down, but it's very difficult. Mark he's just got a particular voice when it comes to that. I felt like he was trying to be more like Heath, but it's very difficult to even do that as well because he really immersed himself into the Joker. But man, Joker Sting, literally, like you're scrolling through the TV, you're not even paying attention to TNA at the time, probably, but then you see Joker Sting, and you stop, and just like Joker and Batman, you just watch the chaos begin, and as an adult, you understand why the Joker exists. It's not that he's trying to cause chaos because he's trying to wreak havoc on the city itself. He's trying to open your eyes to everything around you and see the city for what it is. See TNA for what it is. And basically that's what opened up Hulk Hogan back to the getting away from the dark side and going back to the good side, brother.
Yep.
Well, he should have been at his house, so the camera wasn't on, and we would have had all this bullshit with Hulk Hogan going on. That's a whole nother story.
Well, Dom, if Joker Sting was there, this would not be a laughing matter. This would be a very terroristic problem because I wouldn't have the cameras in here.
Joker Sting could have gave Brooke the hoo-ha. Strap, Joker Sting, was this version ahead of its time?
It definitely was ahead of its time because the Heath Ledger's The Dark Knight movie came out in 2012, and he was doing this in 2011. So yes, Sting is a prognosticator from the future. I mean, I did not watch TNA week to week, but I followed it enough to where I put face paint like Joker Sting for Halloween, I believe, in that year 2011. So I was a fan of that, and I think I mean, it was enjoyable for the fans, but I think the most appealing thing about Joker Sting is that Sting looked like he was having the time of his life. It was, even though it was just borrowing elements from an established character, like this was Sting. Like I said, he's been around so long, like a lot of wrestlers, like he just went loose with it, and he just had the time of his life, and his love and the energy was infectious, like a disease, and it affected all the fans, and it was just a great thing for Sting, and we're happy that he got to be able to do it for the fans.
Yep, definitely got to go back and relive Joker Sting, that wild card.
I'm just jealous he did it, and I didn't get a chance to do it.
I want that shirt.
Which one?
When he's like, when he's just cheesing, you can see
Yeah.
I want that shirt.
I got the Shop TNA exclusive action figure of Joker Sting, so that's good.
He probably, or you can find it on eBay, which I'm actually about to check it out right now.
I also have a Dixie Carter action figure, so there you go.
How'd that go?
Did you put it through a table?
Put on a shelf. Waza.
Yeah, the Sting had woo. Sting had the woo from not the Ric Flair woo, but the very Sting's very own version of the woo. Woo! Exactly. But
I love these taco bowls.
Joker Sting coined a very familiar phrase of his, which he used pretty much to the end of his career, which is "ta-ta for now." Yes, there it is.
I need that.
Yes,
I might need that.
$85 on eBay.
Excuse me?
Size small.
Yeah, probably small.
Man,
all your favorite t-shirts you could buy, but size
Listen,
small.
Listen,
Large.
I will
Nope,
I will
don't fit
get
it
a
large neither.
screenshot. I will get a screenshot of that image, work it up in Photoshop,
Hey,
and go
copyright infringement.
somewhere
No,
and
no.
go somewhere
You're,
and buy
you're
$85.
telling
You must be
yourself.
out your daggone
Instagram
mind.
has detected a screenshot has been used.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know a guy that
Be
can
a
make you
big-
that shirt.
Be a big exclamation point in the middle of it that says no.
They treat Instagram
But,
more secure
yeah.
than your own mobile banking app.
Said, got you,
But-
motherfucker. Eyes open, motherfucker.
FBI, mother.
Jail time, motherfucker.
Three guys now, motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Choo choo.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
after TNA, we finally see Sting inside a WWE ring. A little bit too late in the game, but he still made it. He started feuding with Seth Rollins, The Authority. He had his WrestleMania match with the Game, Triple H, which I was there. Strap was there. BDC was there. California.
I was watching.
Yeah, Platinum was watching. Seth and Sting had a match on Raw. And Sting got injured with that
No,
damn...
that was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, excuse me. He got the win on against Big Show on Raw in that tag match. I know that's going to be only Sting's win right there. I already knew that was going to happen. He only had one win in WWE history. It was in the tag match, and Big Show got pinned.
It would be Big Show.
Of course. Damn giant. But anyways, did WWE, did they waste Sting?
Yep.
Boy, did they.
And I hated the fact that they would not acknowledge TNA. Like, we didn't see Sting from 2001. Like, this is the first time we seen him back in 2014. We ain't see Sting in 13 years just getting the ring, and he's still moving like this. Like, come on, man. Acknowledge where he came from.
Yeah, there were several problems with Sting coming in. What were they calling him? The Vigilante? Calling him the Vigilante. I'm like, dude, you own WCW. Why wouldn't you just, I don't know, go with what's already there? You're making up new stuff for him. I mean, he's coming out with the same face paint on. He's coming out in the same gear. Well, actually, when he first came out, he had on some weird pants combo with the scorpion on. But so it was like they did that. I'm like, okay, so they're calling him the Vigilante. So clearly, already we're looking at this like, oh, he's the problem child. He's the Vigilante. Oh, he's out here to try to wreck the Authority or whatever the case may be. Whatever. He had his matches. I mean, they propped him up pretty well, giving him that program with Seth Rollins, and as versus the Authority as a whole. But man, did they screw the fucking pooch at WrestleMania. They absolutely blew it at WrestleMania. I mean, it's like you put Sting on the big stage. He's finally in a WrestleMania. This is what people have been looking for years. Triple H at this point is not full-time anymore. He is with the Authority. You bring out the NWO, you bring out DX, you bring out all this stuff, and you have Triple H hit him with a sledgehammer and then beat him. Because you just can't have Sting win at a WrestleMania. It was such bullshit. Such bullshit to me. And it was like, no, it wasn't even cowboy shit. It was just shit. Just shit. It was a travesty. It was a tragedy. And ultimately, I think it was another way of Vince saying, we're still better than you guys. We're still better, and we're gonna prove it because I'm gonna make you lose.
Yep.
And again, Sting is not a guy to ruffle feathers, and he's technically the new guy there. They didn't give him his respect, and I hated him. I hated him for that.
Yeah, it definitely sucked. I wanted him to get the win against Triple H. Triple H with the badass entrance things with all the Japanese dudes playing the drums, shit like that. It was pretty dope. But
What was his name?
man,
What was the drummer's name?
Mhm.
Tom, Japanese guy.
John Han Lee. But yeah. Um,
I'm never giving you my driver's license again.
but oh man. I honestly thought at WrestleMania 27 we was gonna get Sting when they had the vignette to the little log cabin, the house shack, whatever. Oh, I thought it was gonna be that time right there against the Undertaker, but obviously we didn't get that. Then again, it was all about Triple H again, and damn,
Yeah.
they teased us, they got us.
Unfortunately, they did.
Triple H is the WCW killer. Goldberg, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, Sting.
Well, Kevin Nash, he was already done.
Triple H gonna be the Wrestling Madness killer.
Better stop. Better stop.
He might win he might win the bracket. He might win the tournament.
We'll see. We will see.
Oh man. Strap, I know how you feel about Sting, but let the people know your thoughts on WrestleMania 31 and Santa Clara, your favorite part of California.
For a Sting-focused episode, it's very depressing. We're just talking about all the shit Sting has gone through. It's like, let's talk about the good shit.
Yeah.
I mean, did we do a WrestleMania 31 review already? I don't.
No.
We covered
No.
everything.
We haven't.
But
Maybe this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, for example, this past weekend, I, for some odd reason, in preparation to watch AEW Revolution 2026, for some reason, I just wanted to watch WrestleMania XL in Philadelphia. I never watched it back. And a lot of the WrestleManias I've gone to, it's like, I just haven't watched like the whole show back. Just leave the memories alone. And attending WrestleMania 31, it's like, all I heard was, the commentary was bearing the match. I loved it, man. I loved the match. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the cameos by the NWO and DX were freaking amazing. But if you watched it at home, you had a different experience, allegedly. I don't know if I like it the same way. And why I'm talking about WrestleMania XL is because, I have my live in-person memories. And during the show, out of nowhere, like really, really loud, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" It's like, where the fuck did that come from? Jesus, they just piped that in. It's, so just production-wise, so just hearing something watching a match, way different than just being, in section 200 with barely being able to see what's going on, but experience, the rush of the crowd. That changes the experience. So, I didn't get a chance to see Rock and Hogan in Skydome, but I felt that energy every time I watched that match again. So I can't imagine how incredible that would have been in person. But yeah, I thought Sting and Triple H, was like one of my favorite matches to ever watch. And Ringside Steve would say otherwise, but he's a punk. So, but yeah, Sting's WWE career, very underwhelming. It's still the Vince era, and the biggest sin, like you're mentioning about them never mentioning TNA. I mean, it started in WCW. They gave him Seek and Destroy by Metallica, the live version from Woodstock 99, the infamous Woodstock 99. And that was his theme for the end of WCW. And when he went to TNA, they gave him a Jimmy Hart, Dale Oliver knockoff tune. But I love that theme, man.
That song was hot.
I made it my alarm on my cell phone. And I just thought it was a great theme for him. His energy and but it's based off that Seek and Destroy song. And then he comes to WWE, and like Vince doesn't know that. The creative team doesn't know that. They just remember, dark brooding Sting from hanging in the rafters. That's who he is. It's like, I mean, it's a very famous version of Sting. It ain't, and it's a favorite of some, but it's not my favorite version of Sting. Here he comes with that very melodic. I hated that music, that theme he came out with. from Starcade 97 on for a little while.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like the WCW version. I
Oh.
like that, but
Well,
not
I mean,
the WWF shit they had.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's iconic for a different reason, different way. But the energetic Sting. I mean, Surfer Sting was high energy. TNA Sting was high energy. And here he comes. He's just walking and stoic. It's like that's what they told him to do, obviously. And that's his music. Ooh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
So,
that
it's like,
that was pointless to me.
why?
Yeah.
Because
You want-
again,
you-
it was. No, go ahead.
Oh, Dom, I'm glad you enjoyed the Japanese drummers. What the hell was that? What relation is that to Sting? Sting never did. He went to Japan, sure, but I don't get it. Terminator, Triple H, loves Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, I love Terminator. That's cool as hell. I mean, not to say the drumming thing wasn't cool, and then all wearing Sting masks and doing the. But it's like, what? What is this?
Yeah,
You might as well
I
have
agree.
an early '90s neon electric guitar doing something out there than, freaking Shen Yun or something. Whatever. It's just dumb. But
Yeah, I like that first version of Sting. His old dent.
yeah,
Dun, dun,
even
dun.
that.
Yeah, not the man they call. I like that one too. The man they call Sting. I like that one too. But that
He does
first one
this.
hit hard.
He does that.
Yeah, just like that Luger theme song.
Big as bull and quick as a cat.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
all right.
That did irk me when they came with that new theme, because I'm like, okay, dude, you could still use his old theme from WCW.
You own it.
Own it now.
Mm-hmm.
Same like they did with Goldberg. They came out with like a modified theme of his that stunk, and then they eventually went back to the old version. Yeah,
They should do what
I don't
Gunther's
understand
doing.
him.
Go back
They
to
brought it-
just
He went
Brought it
back. He went back to his
they
original
brought it
theme.
back.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Street Profits too.
Who?
Exactly.
Wow.
They changed Stephanie Vakir's theme song.
Yeah, that
I mean,
irked
her
me too.
original one was just it just sounded
That
like
shit was
Papa
dope.
Roach.
It
It sounded generic as hell. I mean, it became memorable because of her, but it's like it was just like a generic NXT theme. I thought to me, it didn't even have words. Not like I like it.
All right. Well, y'all want to talk about a fun time? Let's talk about Sting's AEW run. He was tag team. Was it tag team or trios champ with Darby
Tag
Allin? Tag team with Darby
Tag
Allin.
team with Darby Allin. Yeah,
Sting,
basically a mentor.
yeah,
Yep.
he couldn't do all the stuff he wanted to do, but he made sure he beat the chest, Stinger splash, death drop. He's diving off shit, Scorpion
Yep.
death lock,
Yeah,
and then
he-
his send off. He had his boys. His boys.
Garrett and Steven.
The new day. Oh,
Yeah, he had
Yeah, Garrett.
overweight
his
Sting,
sons
the
Garrett.
blonde, and then you got the one wrestling right now, Steve.
Yep. Garrett and Steven going in, and
Jesus.
one of them could barely get off the ground, and the other one was jumping out the building. It was hilarious. It was great.
That was the fat one.
It was great. And
He wasn't even fat.
to
He
that-
just was solid.
yeah, he's absolutely solid. He's absolutely solid. But to that end, it was literally they made sure Sting did not take a loss in his AEW run.
That
He was
the
undefeated
biggest-
the entirety of his run.
That true?
Yeah.
He never took an L.
No.
He was undefeated.
He was willing to lose that night, and Tony even said, "No, you're going out on top."
They would
They
not.
don't
They
even-
did not let him lose the entirety of that run.
Even the Bucks, they suggested, "Hey, like Sting, you're not going out there and taking an L. This is all about you. This whole show is built around you. You're the main
Yep.
event. We're not letting you go out like the traditional way where you go on your back. Like, no, you're
Yeah.
going out and
You're going out on top.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I love that too because
they saw what he went through in WWE, and they saw what he went through in his career by large, and it's like, you know what? No, we're giving you that feel good moment that you deserve.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies where, I mean, every company's gonna have a couple wrestlers leave and come and go where they're like, "Oh, I never had fun here. I never had fun there," and I get it. Maybe your favorite wrestler isn't being pushed to the top like we all want, but unfortunately, every company has different plans for different guys. Different players have different things that they do for different teams. not everybody is going to be great in different eras or different companies. You have to go with what you got and put your best guys up there. Fortunately, not everybody's like Tom Brady. It don't matter who's around him, he's gonna make them better. But yeah, Sting, I'm glad he went to AEW. Was treated right. Yeah, said it, Dom.
Nah, I was about to say not the Raiders.
Well, he's not playing.
That's another story.
Yeah, well, if he's playing, that team is at least getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
But yeah, AEW did him right. They made Sting look good. Sting made himself look good. And AEW, they just supported the man. WCW, they supported him, but they had a new toy, Hulk Hogan. He came over. All right, Sting, go over there.
Macho Man. All right, get out of here.
Yep, Sting became from number 1 to number 3.
Yep. Oh, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Yeah. Sting who? Yeah, we don't want him.
Sting was too quiet. He was just too quiet. He didn't want to ruffle any feathers, like Strap said. And yeah. TNA
company guy.
He knew his role. He was how many times world champ? 2-time world champ in TNA?
Man, he beat Samoa Joe for the TNA title.
He took it off of drunken Jeff Hardy.
Eric Bischoff took that belt off him.
Oh man.
Victory Road.
Brutal. He just goes in and shakes hands with both guys. What the hell are you doing? Yeah,
I felt horrible.
He's telling him the finish.
Felt horrible for Jeff at that point.
Jeff Harvey.
We gotta relive that show one day.
Yeah, but I mean, and
like
the thing of it is he had his classic moments. He had his comical moments. I mean, his whole line matchup with Orange Cassidy outside the ring is stuff of legends.
Yes.
And Darby Allin was looking. I was like, "What are you doing?" Just like,
Did he have a match with Danhausen as well? When like a trios, him, Darby, and Dan.
I don't know.
I don't remember if they interacted at least once.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I want to know this question from you guys. Started off with BDC. Surfer Sting or Crow Sting?
Me, it's gonna be Crow.
Strap.
Surfer Sting.
Platino.
Crow.
I would say Surfer.
Ooh.
All right.
No.
Rose.
we ain't doing that. BDC. Crow Sting or Joker Sting?
I gotta say Joker.
Joker. Strap.
I gotta say Joker.
I'll go with Joker.
Platino.
Joker for me.
I'll go Joker as well. BDC. Crow or AEW?
Only because of his limits, I'm gonna go with Crow, and I say only because of his limits because although he did quite a bit, he wasn't the performer he was as the Crow. He just too old at that point. Body's catching up to him, so I give it to the Crow for that reason only.
Strap.
No, AEW. Just a funny side note is like two feuds that Sting's not a political guy, right? And he doesn't really push his weight around, but there's two feuds that he had in his career that not like he was the hardest worker. He wasn't a Kurt Angle kind of guy. But he just gave no effort was involved. And that was his feud with Vampiro in WCW.
Oh, shit.
And with the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels in TNA. I think he was just uncomfortable with, he wasn't like a religious gimmick, but you could see some undertones there. So I think he was uncomfortable with that. So he didn't really put his full effort into that feud. Not like Christopher Daniels is a bad guy, but so who knows what happened there.
Platino.
I might have to go with AEW on this one. I understand the limits, and yeah, he was a better wrestler in his Crow era, but it's all about the booking, man. The guy was booked properly, used properly, and a lot of the stuff he did where everyone's like, what the hell is he doing? What's Tony doing to land him jump out? That's all him.
He wanted
That
to
is
do it.
all Sting.
He wanted to do it.
Tony did not want him doing that, and Sting was like, "Nope, I gotta do something to keep this crowd going and keep the libations up here."
Sting was determined that when he retired for good, and he meant that. So he was emptying all the chambers he had. He was emptying them all.
I
He
can't
was
wait to
emptying them all.
I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say next week in our Sweet 16 show. Sting!
Well,
Platino,
is there?
is Sting on your Mount Rushmore?
No.
Damn, you said that quick.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not. Unfortunately, not because I don't like the guy. I love his character. I love the different variations of him. Unfortunately, he was never booked the way I thought he should have been. I know you say he carried WCW, but I always felt that another guy was carrying WCW, or another guy was carrying WCW, or another different guy was carrying WCW. And while Sting was there, and grinding them gears and constantly going, and that little engine that could, he was always leftovers, never the main course. And if he was the main course, it was very brief and back to something else.
Well, you know who like leftovers? Stratfax. What do you think? Is he on the Mount Rushmore?
No, it's unfortunate, but they're just as big as the icon as he is in pro wrestling. There are other wrestlers that are just supersede him in a lot of avenues. It's definitely not a knock against him at all, but I mean, you just can't compete with a Hogan, a Macho Man, a Stone Cold, a Rock, even Triple H, Kurt Angle. Bryan Danielson, I mean, it's he's great and we love him to death, but he's just not in that echelon because and I don't think it's his fault. He just was never I mean, he was a featured main event guy in WCW, and he got those spots, but he's just not one of those other kind of guys.
All right. Well, BDC, I'll let you close out with this. Is Sting the greatest WCW superstar of all time?
Is he the greatest WCW superstar of all time? He is truly the greatest WCW superstar that never left WCW of all time. He by far is that guy. Is he the greatest of all time? I'm sure everyone will argue Ric Flair. I'm sure people will even go as far as saying when Hulk Hogan got there, he became the greatest, Me personally, he is the greatest WCW superstar that never actually left WCW.
Do you guys agree?
I'd give him that. I'd give him the biggest, if you just had to put WCW and a guy, I'd totally, absolutely put Sting right there by himself.
Platino?
Yeah, I might have to go there. And it's close, though. It's very close. There's another guy in mind, but we're not talking about him. You guys already did. And I wasn't there.
SummerSlam 2010. No, you were there, Platino.
All right. Well, from neon face paint to the Raptors, from WCW to AEW, there never ever will be another Sting. Guys, this was a fun show to reminisce about the good times and some of the bad about Sting.
I feel like we're going to his funeral. Jeez. Sorry.
Oh man, but next week is the final show of March. It's WrestleMania season. This is my choice. I figure why not cover all of the late great Hulk Hogan's WrestleMania matches. Start from WrestleMania 1 where him and Mr. T take on Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper, to his last WrestleMania match against Mr. McMahon.
Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, so covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Not 7.
No 10. No 10.
Not 8.
No
Not
10.
9. Not no.
WrestleMania 5, Savage. WrestleMania 6, Warrior. 7, Slaughter. 8, Sid. 9, Yoko.
How? Yeah, that was
You already know. Strap want to talk about him and the most electrifying man in all entertainments. Talk about that again.
Is he gonna win March Madness?
We're gonna find out.
Unfortunately, we will not be talking about him getting dragged by a motorcycle by the Undertaker.
I know Taker's like, why you got that damn shit on? You know,
You actually might mention that in the Madness show. That's Hogan's next match. Oh man,
that might have to be the close, cute. There, Dom.
Well, him getting dragged out?
No, those two. That might have to be the close for the show.
No, keep it in order.
Okay.
keep it in order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, BDC, thank you for choosing Sting.
Yes, sir.
Next week, we got 2 more good shows for you. I'm your host. I'm Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here at Poppy Platino. I'm here with Strap Facts. I'm here with BDC. And we will see you guys next week. Boom.
AEW, you messed up. You should have got Joker's thing for at least 1 or 2 shows. It would have been awesome.
Ta-ta for now.
Motherfucker.